from Bug Eye Guys. Today we have a 67 Midget, and this is a fantastically beautiful original Survivor, one owner, 30,000 mile kind of car. Came off of Bring a Trailer and came here directly. I wanted to make a short video about the process because the world has changed so much in the last couple of years with these online auction platforms. And I thought it would be helpful for people to see what you actually get. There's what you think you're getting and what you actually get. And sadly, they don't always align. In the old days, we had eBay. We fell in love with cars like this that we saw on eBay, and then they showed up, and then you got to see what you actually bought. And in some of those cases, you're pleasantly surprised. But I'm finding more and more that what you're getting and what you're promised is not a match. And I think people are misled that the Bring a Trailer forum with audience comments helps to vet the car and tell you what you're actually getting. But there are a couple things on this car in particular that we'll get to that were not really disclosed. You know, I just don't want to say anything bad about the seller, and I don't really want to say anything bad about the forum or the format. But I do want to encourage people to have an expert in your back pocket for these kinds of issues, because it really is inevitable. Like, for example, nowhere in the listing did I see anybody talk about the shot lever shocks. There is no replacement of the Brake Master, which is something that, even though it looks okay, it's probably the original, and we will change that just for reliability. In particular, it's relevant in the case of this car because the new owner is in the mountains of Tennessee in a rural place where he doesn't have someone who can help him with repairs. So our job is to sort of be the intermediary and look for anything that can be sorted out and addressed while the car is here. You know, we have things like the heater valve is seized, so we'll want to change that so that he can use the heat. But there's a lot that the seller did. Other things that were not picked up, like this is a herringbone oil pressure gauge line. And it's obviously a main artery. You can see it's starting to weep already. So we'll change that and make sure that doesn't cause a problem. We had no battery hold down. That's a fire hazard. We also really prefer to have these on the back side, so the battery is not the one that I'd recommend, because when we put the hold down in, it's very close to the terminal. So we'll address that. Those are little things and things to be expected. So again, I just really don't want to attack the seller because he did a nice job. There is just this one other thing, though, that is a problem, and it really should have been disclosed. I'm going to start the engine for you and show you a clutch issue. So normally on these cars, you go into second and then you can engage first, or reverse for that matter, because first and reverse are non-synchro. But watch when I tried, okay, I'm going to go into second and try to put it in reverse. I slowly pull back, and it went right it went right in. There's the problem. Can you hear that? I'm just kissing as I pull back a little bit. I'm kissing, and my foot is firmly on the clutch. So if I pump the clutch a few times, I just don't want to grind it. Yeah, you hear that? I'm just kissing the two gears. I don't want to pull it any further and destroy them. But there's an issue with this clutch. I'm trying to get in. Same problem. I can jam it into first gear, but that's how you destroy these gearboxes. And I can shut it off and put it into reverse and back up. No problem there. So the clutch is operating normally. It feels about right. But I'm afraid there's an issue inside the bell housing, either with the throwout bearing or the disc itself, that's causing this thing, or the pilot bushing for that matter, that's causing this clutch not to fully disengage. So the synchronizers will allow you to get second, third, and fourth, but they won't allow you to stop the transmission spinning so that you can engage reverse. And it's possible the prior owner of this car, that the seller was not the owner, he was representing someone, always had it this way, and it's possible the gearbox is collecting little bits of metal. So we'll drain the oil as well. I think the gearbox can be saved. We'll fix the clutch. And I'll be back with another segment under the car. We'll see what we find there as well. All right, so moving underneath on this midget, we've got a broken baffle there. There's also a bad union at this exhaust downpipe to manifold, and that's because it's a bad design more than anything. We'll put in the later 3-stud manifold and secure that. We've got some wheel bearing play on both sides, so we're going to change these wheel bearings. We also have a stuck, we'll put in the tapered wheel bearings that are far superior, and that's a nice upgrade. We have a stuck caliper on the left side, which could be because of this herringbone brake hose. Let me take you over there. This herringbone brake hose here, which is ancient. They haven't made that type of rubber in forever. I want to get some fresh rubber on there. And this one is better, so it's possible that's a stuck caliper that needs to be changed. We know we're going to change the slave cylinder again when we take out the engine to fix the clutch. We have perish rubber here in these dog bones, and these lever shocks are shot, I'm sure. We've also got rubber oozing out of our leaf springs, so we'll want to change those bushings, maybe the springs. They look like they were really damp at some point. The differential's leaking the pinion seal, so we'll change that. You know, all of these things are somewhat par for the course on old British cars, so anybody getting into them is sort of expecting this, and that's all fine. I just really feel strongly that the crowdsourced auctions are not quite as laden with good information as one might believe, and you really need someone like us in the loop, and there are many specialists out there for whatever make car you're in love with. But if you have an old British car, we would really love to pick it up for you after your auction. Bring it here and go through these things, prepare a punch list for you, and then sort your car before it arrives on your doorstep. That makes for a much less frustrating online auction experience, and we're here to help at Bug Eye Guys.